There he is, the man of the hour, Hunter Lawrence. Mate, congratulations. Me and you were texting back and forth once in a while, and it was only a matter of time. Take it how you want it, but you've been doing incredible all weekend, and just good job, dude. How does it feel? It looked like a hot one. Talk about it, brother.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, exactly. It was a wild day. Gee, there wasn't one, at least in the 450s, there wasn't one point of the day that wasn't interesting or something was like, damn, had you scratching your head after the first moto, what happened with Jet, and then the second moto, that minute of when I tipped over and then I'm back on the track and then Chase's crash and then I went off the track again behind the start gates on that single. I got kicked sideways. I thought I was going to die and end up in the creek. So it was a wild day, but no, happy to get through it. It was tough, mate. It was a tough day. I didn't feel, you can't pick the wins, right? Because I didn't feel good. That was probably the worst I'd felt physically, myself, and on the track all season, and it ended up working out. So it's fun. It's kind of humorous now, but yeah, like after first moto, you're like, right, I got a lot to improve and stuff. So it was, yeah, interesting day to say the least.
What do you think that was from, Hunter? Was that the 2-week break, just the way the track developed, the heat? Why do you feel like you were off?
I mean, we obviously go back to the drawing board, and that being in the rental car debrief, leaving the track, right, on what it could have been. And, we're going over the workload we've done on the break. You always kind of should you got a little bit more rest, but you're always trying to squeeze everything you can out of the body and yourself, to finish off the year strong. So we're probably just going to have a little bit of a lighter week this week, but it was sneaky. At the same time, I wasn't the only guy feeling that way. I think the feeling was pretty mutual across the board. So it was weird. Like, we've raced in hotter temperature numbers, but there was something about it. I think the track's just such a physically demanding track. Like, there's everywhere. You're jumping something, and there's maybe 2 jumps that you have a nice down ramp. Everywhere else, you're just falling out of the sky into the face of another roller, into a wall jump. There's a lot of impact around that track. So it's a tricky one.
A lot of G-forces down on the body.
I feel like too, Hunter, this might be weird to you, but I feel like tracks that look like heavy, like that track was, the dirt was heavy and thick, like fluffy, if you will. I feel like sometimes those style of tracks, and like you're saying, coming from the sky, which takes a lot of energy and all these big jumps and G outs. But going back to the fluffy part, I feel like they hold more moisture for some crazy reason. And it's just like the air is so stale and thick, and it makes that feeling worse. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys know, like, Budds Creek is normally a scorcher because it's in that hole. There's no breeze, and it was kind of like that. But yeah, just odd, mate. It felt like the whole lap, all I was doing was trying to keep the bike at a steady ride height because it's just going in out because there's so many jumps, so many G outs, so many soft bumps. There's a ton of wood chips mixed into the track, which they create a really unforgiving, unrealistic braking bump that grabs and sucks the bike in and makes it react even more than just your conventional dirt braking bump. So it feels like, you're just constantly trying to, when the bike compresses, you're trying to be light. When the bike unloads, you're trying to put weight down on it, and you're just doing that the whole lap. So it's a tough one.
Did you guys have to maybe make a couple little setting changes between Moto 1 and Moto 2 to combat that, what was happening on the track?
We talked about it, honestly, but it's like, there's never a perfect motorcycle, but there's a predictable motorcycle, right? And we were leaning towards making a change because, I mean, there was spots on the track where my fork would bottom out a lot. Like, I'm talking more than 5 spots on the track per lap, which is a big enough thing for me to warrant a change. But I'm like, dude, but then there's little sections where it feels quite stiff, where you could have a little more softer feel. So it's like, I want this to help the bottoming control, But if we do something like that, are we going to lose even more on the touch and initial compression of the bike? So I was just like, you know what? Like, screw it. I know what it's going to do. I know the bumps it's going to kick on. Let me just go out and deal with it.
Yeah.
So we didn't make any change.
Predictability for sure in that situation is key. Like we've talked about it a million times. I would rather, even if it's not handling proper, I'd rather know exactly where it's going to perform well and not perform well, and just ride it out. Like, especially like for me, like tires, I was that kind of way. Like I would run like an intermediate tire on hard pack tracks just because I knew exactly what it was going to do. Maybe it wasn't giving me the grip that a hard pack tire was, but it was more consistent. So dude, I get that. Did you like the track changes at all? Like, it was faster. It was right. Did you like it?
I thought, probably get a bit of flack for it, but I was never like so big on the Godzilla, like jump up, fall out of the sky, turn and jump down the hill. I thought the new section they put there was quite cool. It kind of reminded me a little bit like Bud's Creek, jump up into your little plateau and then turn around and duck down the hill. I thought it was really cool. The section before the finish line was different. I didn't mind it. Honestly, if there was anything I could change about it, it's probably the wood chip. I feel like anytime we bring a lot of wood chips and stuff like the sawdust or the mulch, we call it, into a track, it does keep the moisture in the ground, but almost too much sometimes.
Yeah. I don't like how it blows off the top too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky, and it's almost like I felt like the first moto watching it back in between the motos, I'm like, dude, I maybe 2 corners around the lap where I was on balance coming out of a corner in a rut, and I'm like, am I leaning off the bike or whatever? And I'm like, well, I really focused on that in the second one, but I'm like, I come out on balance, and then all of a sudden you go from traction to having no traction. The bike would, slide or whatever, 450 on the slippery stuff is an animal to hold on to. So you're just constantly working around the track conditions and the bike but it's that track. I feel like that track does it more than any other track on the circuit, to be honest.
It looked like it got more chewed up this year. Like, not maybe as, I don't want to say as rough because it was rough, but it just looked more like it got a little more square edge, a little more of the hard pack came through in areas than maybe years past.
Yeah. It's like when it chews through, it goes to Timbuktu, right? But then you have these hard pack edges like on the jump faces and a lot of stuff where it's almost like you're hitting a curb. So when it's hard, it's really hard. And where it's soft, it just digs like no tomorrow. So it'll be interesting. Nations, obviously, everyone knows it's there. The two biggest factors. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish what you're going to say. I have something about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, like we're just chitter-chattering on the cycle and stuff this morning, but the two biggest factors I think that will change how the track is in nations compared to the nationals is the temperature, the climate for that time of year, and then the more GP riders in the field. I think that's the two biggest variables for both of the Motocross of Nations at Redbud were those two things, and the track was so different to how it was during the summer.
Yeah, so RV and I were talking before you came on, and I was curious because RV's raced MXGPs. You have also, and we're like, well, crap, we'll just ask Hunter. So, like, based off of what you saw this weekend, and we did hear that the track is going to be that was what you raced this weekend. Outside of whether if they have to modify anything with maybe how they till it up or not till it up, whatever, but the layout and everything was the mock-up for the MXON. So based off of that, you already talked about the climate. Do you feel that style of track this past weekend caters to, say, guys like yourself who are racing the US Pro Nationals over the MXGP guys, or no?
No, not really. Not really. I mean, if we're going to talk about advantages, I think the biggest advantage is the crowd. The home team, USA, it's in their backyard. I can tell you now, if there was a Motocross of Nations in Australia, like you're not going down there for anything less. Like, you're going to put a little extra sauce on it, right? Like,
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to die on the track if need be, because I'm in front of my people. So I think that's about the only advantage. I mean,
I
I don't
feel,
think it's going to play a big thing about that.
hey, RV and Hunter, I feel like this, just like, dude, I've been removed from racing at the level that you're at, Hunter and RV, even several years after you kept going. But I feel like the gap is so close now between the MXGP guys and the US guys anymore. Like the advantages are so much smaller, if any, like you're saying, if any
Yeah.
advantages at all. Everyone is so talented. I feel like that's what I see the difference in. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know.
No, I agree. I think the days of, like, we've done more laps on this track layout, we know the track layout better. That doesn't, exist. Like, the GP guys are so good at motocross, it's all they do all year long. There's no supercross cutting into their motocross time. And the American series, we go to a supercross stadium, we have to learn a new track in 10 minutes every
Yeah.
weekend, and then you come to nationals and it's one lap, green flag, lay your heater down. So, yeah, I think there's not really an advantage. I think the bigger advantage comes from the unfamiliarity. Crawfordsville, it's a tiny town. There's not that many big good restaurants, like stuff for good food,
Hotels.
right? You're looking at healthy food, you're looking at stuff like that. Is it, I mean, geez, a weekend like this one past, like, that's hot. Like, the
Yeah.
Euros don't get that heat over there, those are, I think, are the bigger advantages.
I feel like moving along to SMX, Hunter. We only got 2 more Pro Motocross rounds. You've had a hell of a Pro Motocross Championship so far. Dude, do you ever look back and think of like how close you were to winning that SMX World Championship? Like, I always, like, once in a while I tell people, like, dude, you were so close. And how do you feel about coming into the playoffs this year, and like what's your mindset looking like, and are you excited about it? Because you almost bagged it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was close, We I don't
It
look back on
was.
it too much. I don't think I dwell on it or look back on it, because if there's anything that could have been different, I mean, we both raced a pretty perfect race. Like, none of us really made any mistakes. There wasn't any lap times that dropped off big from myself. I'm excited for this year. I think where I can really gain is first round. Like, me personally, I can only look back on where I think I could be better, and that's first round in Charlotte. Both years of SMX, I haven't been great there. Second round last year was really good to me. We're going to a new venue, and then the last one, yeah, just keep knocking on that door. I mean, keep just doing the same thing. Like, I get to where I am because I just focus on myself and make sure I execute a good start, go out, do the best I can do. We're working on things during the week, on the weekend, pardon me. And I mean, if there was one thing that I think could have changed the outcome, which is a shoulda, coulda, woulda, would have been, had I lined up on the opposite side of the split start gates, to have the rear brake coming into the left, opposed to coming into it on the right, on the left hand side, right turn. No, not as much rear brake, but that's a huge what if, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? It could have swapped and been the same outcome. So that's the only thing that in my mind I'm like, maybe it would have been a different outcome. But then leading is different to chasing. Who knows? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Do you feel like the seating? I personally feel like the seating is a big thing. I think sometimes it's overlooked. Because, dude, you know how it is with points, championship, RV. You know it better than anybody. Also, I think, like, if you could, the highest seed, I mean, you're obviously starting at an advantage compared to, say, like maybe where you entered, where you're entering right now. Like, I look at a guy like Justin Cooper, for example. Like, dude, he's sitting pretty. I mean, he has a nice advantage going into round one. I mean, you talk about round one. I don't know. I feel like sometimes with the playoffs is what I love about it. Like the seeding is super important, and sometimes it goes unnoticed.
Yeah,
No, you don't think?
yeah, I'm not a massive like live and die by the seeding. I think as long as you're in relatively close, right? Obviously, you can't go in 15th, but like
Right.
let's say, you know, top 10 may be a stretch, but I think if you're in the top 5 or close enough to the top 5, the top guys are going to be up front all rounds, and it comes down to the last race, you know. Like
Triple
my
points.
250 year, yeah, my 250 year, I was like almost 100 points clear, got seeding into from Supercross and Motocross. I had a ton, and you know, obviously I got injured at the last one with 100 points gap going into it. Won the second round, which was double points. It doesn't mean anything. So I think as long as you're relatively close, anyway, it comes down to the last one as a decider, in my opinion.
So after Pro Motocross, get SMX done. Any overseas stuff coming up? What are you guys thinking about that? Obviously, good little break, probably, right? You'd recharge the batteries and drive some cars, probably play some golf. You know, do some shit like that.
Yeah. We are obviously after SMX Nations, so that kind of another 2
Yeah.
weeks.
Okay. Yep. Nations.
And then Nations, and then we'll probably take 2 weeks off, and then we have Paris and OzX Open again, which those ones are cool. Like they're good fun events. We obviously the chance to go back to Australia is unreal. We love doing Paris. It's a good fun a weekend away, and that's about it. And then obviously get back into the grind of it, Supercross testing and whatnot. So it'll be good. I think we're definitely in a better position going into the off season than we were last year. Last year we had the new bike. We figured out so much stuff on that. We're at a really good place on it, so should be good.
And no changes. I mean, you guys would probably know, but no changes for upcoming bikes or anything like that. You'll run this one for another year or 2 seasons. Another season or 2.
Yeah, another season. As far as what we know as of now, we have a new bike coming, obviously 27. I'm pretty sure, but that'll
Do you like developing a new bike like that? You know, like obviously there's it's new and shiny. So from an athlete standpoint, like I was like, okay, new bike, it's, you know, it should be better. But then obviously you ride it and you're like, okay, this is better. But then okay, now we got to work on these things. Do you like developing those, you know, for the race season?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like it's not something I absolutely joy for. I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? And the more time you get on the same thing, it just gets better and better and better, and you know exactly what that bike needs. And you know, if I'm chasing something or a characteristic, you've got a couple years on that same platform. You just go, put this into it, and it's sweet, you know. But it's obviously we are as a racing team just another marketing tool for the manufacturers to sell motorcycles and stuff. So it's just part of it, and everyone has to deal with it. So you do it. You know, it's a job. It's one of the coolest jobs I think in the world to be a professional racer. So like anything, you just go into it with a can-do attitude, and you give your absolute best at whatever it is for your job.
I love your pragmatic style, dude, and your approach and just your personality. I think it's awesome. Not only for the sport.
you.
I think I said this before, Hunter. RV, you've heard me say it, RV, but it's like for the 450 class where you just have to. I feel like you have to be that way, and some days it's just going to be what it's going to be. As much as we want to win, as much as we always want to do better, it's just, you know, not get overexcited and just let things come to you and just always do your best, right? And I think that I don't know. I think for your career, and especially again for the 450 class, I think it's an awesome approach. And dude, you've done a hell of a job. Real quick before we let you go, you made that post about your car. I know you're super into cars and all that fun stuff. So tell us a little bit about that. And do you have another project with the car coming up?
Yeah, so cars is something that now in my point of my career where everything has been for the past 15 years, just purely live and die by the sport. And I've kind of graduated through a point in my career where I feel like it's, and it might sound wrong, but kind of having the not caring attitude, which is like on what you were saying, never get too high, never get too low, because, you know, the emotional swing can swing really hard both ways. So it's a little thing that I've just always been so passionate about, just absolutely love it, and something that I kind of want to pursue post-career in the automotive world. I love working on my cars, just customize them, exhaust, wheels, like, oh, just the simple stuff. But it's cool, like the post-job satisfaction, you know, like when you mow your lawn and you look back and stand back, put your hands on your hips, and you're like, yeah, that shit looks good, you know. It's just that same thing that, you know, kind of ticks. But yeah,
do
we
you
had
car washer, or do you wash your own cars? Do you have a guy wash your cars? Do you wash them?
I wash my cars all year round, except the first, probably some like outdoors, when it's like back-to-back weekends in a row, and it's like, I mean, 95 outside and humid, and recovery is like really, really important. So I do enjoy washing the car. Again, post satisfaction. I'm a big labor guy. I don't mind labor. I pick up a shovel. My dad raised a worker, and I don't mind getting my hands dirty and getting in and amongst it. We got badass Boxo toolbox that we got, you know, hooked up with. Thanks, JH and Ricky, to get going. That was a big step in my mechanicking career. Amazon tools only get you so far.
Hey,
so that was
no job is impossible with the right tool, brother.
Amen. My dad always tell me, you know what shit is trying to do a job when you haven't got the right tools. That's the only shitty job. And yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
I'm a testament to that, because I believe it. I'm a graduate of YouTube University. My YouTube browser, how to, yada, yada, all the time. But no, it's good. It's good.
Well, mate, congratulations on your win. It was a long time coming. You stuck with it, never gave up. You talked about it a little bit on the post-race interview there, but it was only a matter of time before you bagged that win. You take it however you can get it. That's for sure. You're gonna have a good SMX. You did good there last year. I have no doubt you'll be there again. Just pumped for you, dude. Pumped for you. Great ambassador for the sport. Thanks for coming on today. I know your time is precious. RV and I do not take it lightly. So thanks, mate.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And
yeah, thanks, Hunter. It's good to get you to knock down that first win. I know it's been I think what you've been missed it 10 times, right? I think I heard that on the broadcast.
Yeah, we've been very close, very close.
Yeah, they're always sweet. No matter how you get them, they're sweet.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good. The cat, dude, wire still checks clear. Like you said, Ricky.
That's right. They don't when you wire your check, like I told you, they don't ask how it happened or how far you won by, right?
I told Jed, I'm like, no, dude, it sucks. And like, I feel bad for you, but not bad enough to split the bonus. Sorry, champ.
Oh, I love it, dude. All right. Well, have a great week, and good luck in Unadilla, brother.
Cheers. Thanks boys. Thank you.
Hi, folks. Lee Diffie from NBC Sports. If you enjoyed what you just watched, well, it's time to bring the action and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel. You can have it all. News, highlights, interviews, and analysis. So go for it.